And hello and good morning. This is Boles TV, BOLES.TV. I'm David Boles, and it's nice to see you this morning. It's 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. We are here with you live, sort of live. Are we live? We are live. I believe it's live. And it's a foggy day on the East Coast. Woke up a little bit cloudy, and then an hour later, boom. Fog. Can't see out the window. I like fog because it gives you a lot of privacy. And people can't see you and people can't look in your giant windows, which is probably a good thing, considering how I look. And this is our first week broadcasting live with our new Windows setup. And as you can see, the camera's a little wider. We're getting a lot more of this in the shots. We didn't have that last week. Color is interesting. Color is different. Here's our second camera, which is not as resolution full as our other camera. Cut off like this. I don't know why, but that just seems to be the way it is. Now we're in the shot. Darker, different colors, a little fuzzy, out of focus. And our sound is a little bit different. We have noise canceling. We have music that's a little different. We are hoping that our lips are in sync with our mouths. And we test that by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it in sync? Or is it Memorex? Who knows? Only the nose knows. So I set up, every day I do something just a little bit different. Oh, there's Dora. Hello, artist Dora. Nice to see you. In sync. Thank you so much. That was very, 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 very difficult to set up. You have to set up a delay, a millisecond delay on your microphone, which I had done under Mac, and it worked fine. But I guess under Windows, I also had to set up a millisecond delay, for the video camera. It's a filter that you add to your camera that gives you a delay of 100 milliseconds as well. So you want 100 milliseconds for this, 100 milliseconds for that, and then technically they sync up. But boy, that took me several days to figure that out. That was a mess. So every day I tried to do a new little thing to get set up. I downloaded all my web content to the Windows machine. Today I plan to get all my Adobe software installed and then set up. Yes, Dora said it hurts my head thinking about it. It's been a bit of a headache. It's not just like getting a new Mac where you turn it on and you say, okay, copy everything from this machine to the other machine, because it doesn't do that. So I have I have a terabyte of backup information on an SSD drive that just plugs into my Mac. I drag things over there the last 5 years. Well, my Windows machine cannot read my portable SSD drive from my Mac because it's a different file system. I plug it in, it sees the drive, but it says there's nothing on the drive. So what I had to do was very slowly over the last week drag and drop all of my SSD files to my Microsoft OneDrive. And then once it's on OneDrive, then I can access it from my Windows computer. That also was a hassle. So now I think maybe I need to take my SSD and bring it to the new computer and then reformat it for use under Windows. I'm thinking. I don't know. And then today my project is to set up all the FTP and special configurations I have for the Adobe software, Audition and Photoshop and Dreamweaver, and get all of that technical stuff copied over. I have everything installed, but not how I actually use it. So it's all generic setup. So that's going to take a little bit. But the big project I did yesterday afternoon, which was a lot of fun, was setting up my Stream Deck. My Stream Deck is that little, maybe I can show it to you, this little thing that Janna loved to use for our live broadcasts because she could just, this is the Stream Deck. Let me show you the whole thing because it's tethered, where you just push a button and then everything shows up. It changes the scene, it makes sounds, So if I go into my broadcasting setup, I can click a button and this happens. And then I can click another button and then this happens. So that looks better than having to go like this. What is that? Now we just click a button. And I have my Janna part set up, so she's all going to be ready again. And I also was able to install my sounds. You remember this from last time? I had a lot of fun painting with these sounds. This is the city background. And I guess the police are coming after us. If we're playing Grand Theft Auto, I guess we could use this as the introduction. Now that goes on for 3 minutes, so we won't play that for 3 minutes. And then we have the countryside, which is only 1 minute. And I tell you, people think you go to the country, it's very relaxing. You can hear it's not so relaxing in the country. Birds, dogs, horses, animals, dirt, cars. And when I do well in chess, thank you. I appreciate you. Again?
Sir, yes, sir!
Right, do well in chess. Get a yes sir, yes sir. Also another form of yes.
Yes!
Yes. And another yes.
Yes!
You can see we plan to win a lot in chess. And then there's this. Yeah. We're probably going to hear that more than the cheers when we play chess. Also, when I say something fun, we might get a little bit of applause. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. And they have like 10, 15 different kinds of applause. So that I call clapping. This is applause. Yes, the whooping. Is Photoshop still very expensive? Dora asks. And it's all subscription now. So if you buy a subscription, you pay a monthly fee. And Adobe was the first company to start doing that, charging you monthly fees to rent their software. And then you get updates all the time. So, you can get it for like $30 a month, and it's a suite of 10 different applications if you are a student or a teacher or you have some kind of special or you can get a smaller package like that just includes Photoshop. But there's also, I think, the GIMP we've talked about and some other alternatives that are cheaper and free that some people prefer. I just stick with Adobe because that's what I've used for the last 15 years, and I hated it that we have to rent, but we have a educational discount, so it's relatively inexpensive considering people who pay full price. Also, when I do poorly in chess, we're going to hear a lot of booing and a lot of failing. I can feel it. Here's a lovely rainfall. I don't know what we would use this for. I guess we were telling a story. It was a dark and stormy night. And then we also have the loud sounds of the ocean. And we've talked about that before. How you're near the ocean, you open your windows, and you can't sleep at night because the water's making all that noise right in your ear. And there are birds chirping and everyone's happy until you can't go to sleep at night. That's 3 minutes. So that we had fun yesterday installing all of that. It's all back on the Stream Deck, and it stopped working on the Mac. I don't know why. I was very disappointed. Janna was disappointed. But she did a great job because we have 15 things here you can pick up for a transition. And on the Janna Murphy screen, we have 3. We have this screen. We have this screen. Hello. New sound for the ASL. And we have this for her. So if she needs to do something and not be seen, she can go there. She can go here. And she can go back here. I probably should add one more, which is just the intermission. Although she doesn't like the intermission screen. She'll like the Be Right Back screen, I think. She's actually coming up at 9:30. We're going to do a Google Meet test with Janna Marie today and see if that looks a little bit better than Zoom. And in my unofficial testing yesterday, a Google Meet was better. And it has automatic captions that work really, really, really well. So let's take a look at what's going on in the world beyond us. And right now, it all starts with this. You want to know the price of fame and getting along in the world? It's right here on the screen. The price of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yesterday, we were almost at 3,000 for Ethereum. We are now at 2,500. We started the day at 2,700. So we were already dropping. This inflation report and the war in Ukraine is taking a big toll on people. Bitcoin yesterday was up to 42,000. It is now tanked at $39,000. If you're planning on buying something on the Ethereum network, Etherscan reports it's going to cost you $15 in gas, which is not bad. Yesterday afternoon, it was around $35. It's getting nastier, and that's okay. Because we're all trying to get in this together. And that's our Google Meet. We're going to set up the invitation and send it to Janna Marie at 9:30 when we're ready to go. And we're going to do it all live. So here are the healing codes that we've been talking about by Sabet. About a week and a half they've been available. Big opening, big break. And you can still see it's an unmitigated disaster. And I don't like saying that because I'm a big Sabet fan. I have a lot of Sabet work. But this was misguided and miscalculated. I'm not sure people want a Guruji. I'm not sure that people are interested in healing with specific codes that are related to chakras. The original mint was going to be 3,000, then I guess he thought it was going to be bigger than that and wanted more people into his healing cult, is what it kind of sounds like, the way it's being described. So he upped it to 4,850. And I'm sure he wished he had not done that. Because as you can see, not even 1,000 have sold. And in the past 3 days, maybe 20 have sold. That is terrible for a Sabet release. And I think a lot of the reasons are people don't like being surprised. They want to pick their artwork. They don't want their artwork thrust upon them. I think the problem is people pay one price, and some people get one of 50, and other people get a one of one. And Sabet one of ones can go for $50,000 in some cases. Now, the one that I have is a one of 7. So that's okay. I don't think it's very attractive or interesting. That's my problem with mine. But 7 of 7 is better than 1 of 50. So, speaking of crypto, President Biden is signing an executive order. This happened yesterday after we went off the air. You're signing an executive order on ensuring responsible development of digital assets. Excuse me, and people are not really terribly happy about this. I like you can make the larger font size. Do we like that? No, we'll do this. And let me see if I can show you what people are upset about. So protect U.S. consumers, investors, and businesses by directing the Department of the Treasury and other agency partners to assess and develop policy recommendations to address the implications of the growing digital asset sector. Okay, this is all technical mumbo-jumbo, but we'll get to the analysis in a moment. And then Janna's going to join us at 9:30, and she's going to have a Trader Joe body oil review for us as she helps us test Google Meet. I'm happy just to get together and say hi, but she likes to have topics to talk about, and I am thrilled with that, because that is delightful content. Protect U.S. and global financial stability and mitigate systemic risk. Okay, mitigate illicit finance and national security risks posed by the illicit use of digital assets. Now, the problem that people have with this is that what the government's going to do is make a crypto dollar. So a crypto dollar equals a US dollar. And what they don't like is that it's going to be trackable, which goes against everything that crypto stands for. So the US with this crypto dollar is going to be able to track who has it, where it's been sent, how it's been spent, if taxes have been paid on the transaction. And people don't like it. They say it goes against this idea of independence and security and something that cannot be controlled by one entity. Well, if you're going to be dealing in crypto dollars, you're going to be dealing with the United States of America. And they're going to know your wallet, and they're going to have access to your wallet, your cryptocurrency wallet, and they're going to be able to look and see what you spend, where your money comes in and out, and they're going to be able to track you. So if people are upset about this new thing from the IRS that any money over $600, I turned off to go into focus mode, because that was Discord saying you have new things showing. Okay, that's off. Oh, Dora says, see, something as big as Bitcoin will need to be regulated and it will result in a 1-for-1, right? Well, that's the whole idea, is that Bitcoin is not supposed to be tied to the dollar, and it won't be. This is they're creating a whole new digital dollar. Paid $1 for 1 Bitcoin. Well, that won't happen because Bitcoin is worth $42,000, which is 1. So it's all that can't happen. But what can happen is introducing a new coin. And there are like 25 coins out there. Some of them are successful, some of them aren't. Some people, buy penny stocks. Some people buy penny Bitcoin, where you can buy 1 Bitcoin for 1 cent, hoping that it will explode and sell for 10 cents, and then you've made all this money, made all your money back. But if they have a crypto dollar, that dollar is going to be worth $1. So 1 Bitcoin will never equal $1, because $1 will never equal $42,000. But with this new IRS tax thing, where if you get $600 for any reason, the bank, your bank, not you, your bank, reports it to the IRS. $600 came into this account. And it used to be, a year ago, that if you made $20,000 as an independent contractor or a hobbyist or whatever, self-employed person, if you made $20,000 and had 200 transactions, so it's not and or, it's and, then you were reported by your financial institution to the IRS. And that has all changed now. It's $600, period. Which is going to be devastating for people who really work very hard and are maybe paid in dollars. And they're not going to want to have that money deposited because it will be reported. So you're going to see a lot of people working for $599, which will set off alarms, because then you're trying to get around the reporting threshold, which is going to be problematic. So these people are not really happy about this crypto thing coming out of the Biden White House. And other people say, well, it is good for the unbanked, because maybe people don't want to be into Bitcoin or be into Ethereum. They want to be into the US dollar. And if a crypto dollar is backed by the US Treasury and its value is guaranteed to be and remain at $1 no matter what, just like a paper dollar is always $1. Now, prices can go up. You have to buy something for $2 that used to cost $1, but $1 is $1. So that's the idea behind the cryptocurrency, is that $1 is $1. And I am sure if they think about it a little bit, the Treasury loves the idea of a crypto dollar because it can be traced. You can mint it and follow it from day one to the end of life, which is never. It will always remain on the blockchain. Now, are they going to fix their own blockchain or be part of a blockchain? Well, they're going to have to be some kind of part of a blockchain, because people are going to swap, as they call it, Bitcoin for US crypto dollars. So there's going to have to be some kind of interaction. But the idea of people using paper money is going away, and that scares a lot of people who are working illicitly, criminals, and people who just don't have access to technology and the internet because they're going to be left out behind. And most people today are very comfortable paying with things digitally. A credit card is a digital payment. Pay online with bill pay. They exchange money with each other and family members via PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. So probably 80-90% of the people in America are already used to using this, and they're going to just fall into using a crypto dollar and not have any trouble with it. Doris says the more freedom we want, the more we will become technology's prisoners. That's very, very true. And people are already upset with, Coinbase and other cryptocurrency exchanges for continuing to do deals in Russia. They're saying, why are you still dealing with the Russians? You're helping them. And they're saying, look, the whole idea of Bitcoin, the whole idea of Ethereum is that all of these cryptocurrencies is that we don't bow down to anybody because there's no one to bow down to. It's just open. Now, we as Coinbase can cut off all Russians, but what good will that do? Because there's just another exchange that they can use to get money in and out. And that goes against our philosophy of being an open-ended, non-centralized, decentralized form of currency. And now we have to take a very brief blood pressure break. And then we're going to come back and do live in real time a group of advice jamboree and see if we can work it out. And we'll see how simple it is. It sounds exciting because it is exciting. Back in a moment. And we are back I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. Live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Now, I'm so disappointed in myself because I have the Stream Deck thing, and I'm supposed to hit this button, not click on my screen, bring up this lovely thing we have going on here, but I didn't do it. I forgot, so I have to do it now. Get back into the practice of doing it. So we're just getting started with this crypto thing and the Biden thing, but we're going to take a brief break now. A brief exciting break. This is the crypto as we invite Janna Marie to our Google meeting. And we're doing this live and in real time just to see how this works. So we have a new meeting. Well, I have to take this off screen because I might reveal something here. So let me go back to that, and then I'll do this. Start an instant meeting, which is exactly what we want. Boink, boink, boink. This is the information that I need to send to her. Add others. Well, I'm not showing you any of this, and this is I'm showing bad form. So here we go. So here we go. Okay, so it says start your meeting. I've copied the meeting. It's an invite. I'm sending the invite to Janna Marie, sweetheart. And then I send her an email. Boom. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if she gets the email. And we're hoping that she will use her, what do you call it? iPhone. She has a laptop, but I think the iPhone has a better camera. And I think it will be easier for her to just open the email on her iPhone and click on the email and then immediately join, because we use Gmail and the Google Workspace thing to run our lives. So it should all be set up and ready and running. Maybe. We are hoping. I'll send her a little note saying message has been sent. And I don't know if this is, so I'm bringing Google Meet into the Streamlabs. Now, I don't know if it's better to do like a display capture and just, oh boy, oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. Wow. There's her thumbprint. Oh, okay. Their captions have turned on. We're getting noise. Is the sound down on your phone? Getting some kind of interesting feedback from somewhere. I think so. Let's try. Finish. Okay. Oh, we hear some kind of feedback. I don't know what it is. There's other people. Oh, the people in the office. Oh. They love chatting on the phone. Okay. Can you turn off your microphone on your...
I'm going to add to my list.
That worked.
And do you feel like you might do something?
No, it didn't. We still hear the people. Are you clicking the button? Are you clicking this button right here? The microphone on Google Meet? The microphone on Google Meet right here? Right here? Finish that.
And so the other thing.
Okay. So go back. Hello? Now, maybe I need to turn off my microphone. That's even worse. I don't understand where the sound is coming from. Anyway, we'll do the best we can. Yeah. Is it foggy where you are? It's clear, it's sunny, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh. It's cold. It's cold, you say? Okay. Well, that's good. And it's very foggy here. Very, still, yeah. Very, very lucky. So I just want to confirm, on the bottom of your Google Meet, you have the microphone icon slashed and red, because we can hear everything in your office. Finally, fabulous. Wow. Oh, Dora has been chatting with us. Dora says if everything's muted, how could we hear them? It's beautiful here too. Right. So if Janna was using her voice, we would have to put up with those noisy people in her office. But the fact that she's using sign language, we can mute her microphone and not hear all the noisy people. So it worked. Happy. So yes, now it's very foggy, still white. I like, because it's very private. People can't see in the window. I can walk around. No one can look at me. Right, I like that too. Okay, so you have a surprise review for us today. Let us know. I went to Trader Joe's, my favorite store. They have a variety of food, but sometimes they have other things, small little things like toilet paper, skin, lotion, all kinds of things. Well, I found this coconut body oil from Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's. Lemongrass coconut body oil. Delicious. Sometimes I come to work and it's cold outside and my hands are itchy. So I take a little bit of oil, I put it on my hands, rub it around. Oh. Sometimes on my arms. Very nice. It keeps me moist and smooth and not dry. It's not greasy at all. No grease. It smells so good. I feel I smell in my office nice as I'm typing, I'm working. It's so good. I suggest you give it a try. Nice. Wonderful. Beautiful. And it's under $6. That's a good price. Trader Joe's has amazing good prices. You think it'd be expensive, but the prices are really very, very low for everything they have. Yes, I also like their hair mask. I use that, I put it on my hair for 5 minutes. I finish. The hair is nice, soft, smooth, different, nice skin care. Oh, that's great. Well, what else are you doing today, dear? I'm working hard today. Today is Thursday, and tomorrow is the last day of work week, and I'm excited. But I have deadlines. I have to get ready to go. I have work to do. I have 2 days to finish. It's work life. Beautiful. Sounds perfect. Do you know what you're doing tomorrow for your sign language lesson? Oh, two things. I have two ideas in mind, so maybe you'll find out tomorrow. Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Janna Marie. It's nice to see you. Say hello to Dora. Hello, Dora. Oh, wait, Dora's saying something. Will I have to? Oh, Dora says she wants to get herself a tube of your oil, or the bottle, excuse me. And Dora says, nice to see you, Janna. Have a great one. You too, Dora. Have a wonderful time today. Tomorrow. Happy Friday. Okay. Take care. Bye. Love you, baby. Well, that just worked great. I just can't believe how wonderful it was. So there you go. Janice Sweeney has left the meeting. Oh, leave the call. Okay. That's over. Fun, though. Worked well. Very surprising. And it's hard when you're working on a little teeny tiny, itsy bitsy little iPhone to see those buttons and to click on them. We don't use Google Meet. We use FaceTime, which does not work well under Windows. And we use Zoom, which we tried yesterday, which I was not pleased with the way that Zoom looked. She was half the screen, and I was this half of the screen, and I could see me signing to her. So the Google Meet was a little bit better. I like it. That's what I'll use if I do interviews in the future with other people, or with Janna Marie. It worked great. That's a relief. Because that's part of what a live stream is bringing people into your show if you can, and not just in chat, but so you can see their real face and you can see pictures and share information. So that's a good harbinger, as they say, in the business. So going back to Biden, trying to figure this out, it's this crazy crypto thing. So he wants to promote leadership and technology and competitiveness to reinforce the global financial system, promote equitable access to safe and affordable financial services. Now, that is good for people who don't have a lot of money. But if you're living in a poor neighborhood and you don't have reliable access to internet, and if you don't have a good cell phone, at least a cell phone, let alone a computer, how are you going to be not left behind in this cryptocurrency from the United States government? And that is the problem, because you will be left behind. And it's going to be an unfortunate, terrible thing. Support technological advances to ensure responsible development and use of digital assets. Okay. Now this is also what really concerns, really concerns the crypto folk, the hardcore crypto folk, of which I am not, but of which I am becoming. Explore, only because I don't understand it. That's the reason why I'm not thinking it. Explore a U.S. central bank digital currency, CBDC. That's the new FU, CBDC. By placing an urgency on research and development of a potential United States CBDC. Should issuance be deemed in the national interest, the order directs the U.S. government to assess the technological infrastructure and capacity needs for potential U.S. CBDC in a manner that protects American interests. Now, this is what people don't like about it. Central bank. The whole idea of crypto is decentralization. That no one person, no one government controls and directs your money. You own your money. You own your Bitcoin. You own your Ethereum. DeFi, as we've talked about before on this stream, means decentralized finance. It's the big thing. It's what drives crypto. Decentralization. equalization. Some say it's sociological, right? So when you have a central bank suggesting there's one point that is controlling something on a decentralized blockchain, people get very worried because it means the government's going to be interfering in that blockchain, blocking transactions. And that's one thing people like about crypto is like, hey, if whatever side you are on in the war, and there's really only one human side to be on, this war with Ukraine and Russia. The fact that Russia so far has not really been able to be cut off from crypto is a good thing, because it's a test to see if people can retain their resiliency and their ownership of what they own on the blockchain. That no one government can come in and say, I'm freezing your Bitcoin and taking it from you. As far as I understand, it's not possible. Now you can block with these exchanges trading Bitcoin directly, but one person in USA and one person in Ukraine or one person in Russia, and you're going back and forth on the blockchain, exchanging money, that can't be stopped. And that's a good thing for people in Ukraine, and it's a bad thing for people trying to cut off Russia, because you can't cut them off. And speaking of being cut off, I love it that McDonald's is not doing business right now in Russia. And they're saying it's going to cost them, what, $50 million a month? Oh, Doris says, I get it, but the government will always get involved eventually. They allow us to play in the sand, but eventually they'll tell us to get inside. And that's exactly what's already happening. You now have to report all of your crypto transactions. You have to report what you bought, what you sold. You have to report what you swapped. If you exchanged Bitcoin for Ethereum, you have to report that. If you're just buying and holding, you do not have to report that. And if you bought Bitcoin 5 years ago and you're selling Bitcoin now, that's capital gains. It's a lot of money. So they're already in it and pressuring people. And the hardcore cryptos are not happy with it. So McDonald's is going to lose $50 million a month by not doing business in Russia. And they say right now that they're okay with that, and that they're going to continue paying their people who were working at McDonald's. They're paying them. They're not paying them to work. They're paying them because they used to work for there, to support them and to keep them alive, which I think is probably a good thing. You're making your point, but you're not letting your people suffer. So here we go. You can sign up for some fun stuff from the government. Okay, I'll go for that. Oh my goodness, what happened? There we go. Latest information from Big Joe Biden. So the NFT world is getting into making stuff to protect Ukraine. And this popped up yesterday as a very interesting project. I love the artwork, as you can see there. And I printed out also a copy of the artwork because I like this just as much. It's very beautiful. Excuse me for talking. That time of the day when I get blown out by hot boxing. So this is a wonderful piece of art. Make art, not war, right? It's a positive message. And Dora has seen this and she wants to know who made it. We're going to get into that right now. So this was a very interesting thing that I bumped into yesterday. So this is the artwork. Some people say the tear in her eye is maybe a little too much, and I would tend to agree with that. I think the image itself is very good, and the words are very powerful. Based on my observations, no matter what flag or ideology it is wrapped in, violence is almost always motivated by ego, greed, and an inability to work diplomatically with others. In the case of the invasion of Ukraine, I believe all those factors are at work, and many people already suffering unnecessarily. This image symbolizes my support for the Ukrainian people and my support for anyone who believes that peace is preferable to war, prioritize diplomacy and creativity over violence. And here's the information about this lovely piece of artwork that was created. This NFT is an edition of 8,900, priced at 0.005 Ethereum, which is about $200, with 100% of the proceeds being donated to Ukrainian humanitarian efforts. Funds generated from primary and secondary sales will be split between Relief and Ukraine DAO. A high-res download for the non-commercial purposes can be found here. And we will look at that in a moment. So I tried to support this yesterday, and I tried to connect my wallet, and it wouldn't let me. Very strange. So I thought, oh my gosh, is this some kind of ripoff? I don't know. So then you stop and you go back, and you look at this. This is a design firm, I believe in California, and they sell a couple of interesting pieces of artwork, NFTs. And this is, I believe, they're NFTs that they sold, I think, last year on OpenSea. So they're kind of a new company, but they're trying to get the word out. They sold 7,400 of these NFTs, and they were on OpenSea, called a secondary sale. Now, these are not the Ukraine ones. These are the others that they sold out of. And this is what they look like. This is what they're selling for. It's interesting stuff. And it's all very different. Very powerful. I like the design. Very interesting. This one's selling for $77. So this is their website, manufacturing quality descent since 1989. So the obey in their name is sort of ironic. And these are the downloads where you can download the poster and the PDF. And the PDF is free that you can use to put on your website or make a background or do whatever you want. It's a great big giant file. And I have that too. So here is this piece of artwork on OpenSea. I'll put this link in chat. This is the secondary market. You originally buy it from the website, but people couldn't get in on the website with some wallets. So you go to OpenSea if you have experience there, and you can get there better. And you can purchase one of these. This is called the secondary market. And this is selling for $83, which is cheaper on the secondary market than it is buying it direct from them. Dora says, I cannot create NFTs. My son will disown me. You know how much I love technology, and if I make any money, it will be from my son. But he wants nothing to do with crypto or NFTs. That's very interesting. I don't understand it, but I do understand it because I felt the same way probably a month ago. But you can still do this without him. You can just do it and create your art and save it, and then turn your Ethereum or your Bitcoin into dollars and send it to him that way. He'll change his mind in a couple of years because he's not going to have a choice. Not that we're threatening him or anything. We're just making the point that it's going to be inescapable. And so here I've taken that lovely NFT and made it my background on my Boles, facebook.com/BOLES page. which I find very alluring and not alarming. And here's another thing the same people at the Obey Giant company have created, and it's really very interesting as well. I'll share this with you. My team and I just finished painting a mural out on the west side of Culver City in California called a mosaic. Of my team, and I just finished printing a mural on the west side of a little bit of an editorial error there. These themes are always relevant, especially with the war and heartbreaking atrocities in Ukraine. The message in my art and art murals are a statement about philosophy and intent that drive me, and I hope that inspires others. Statements are great, but shaping a more just world often takes action too. We all have to do our part. Thank you to all of you who care and who make a difference and an effort. If you are in LA, you can check out the mural in the corner of Inglewood and Culver Boulevard. And here's the artwork, which is, and you know this was being planned and designed a long time before there was an invasion of Ukraine. So it's still very, very interesting. Prescient almost. Now, this is the kind of artwork I like. In Jersey City, they're very big on painting buildings, but they tend to be spacemen and dogs and flowers. I much prefer this. I like the color scheme. I like the stacking. I like how it actually fits the facade in an appropriate way. Now, if this were Jersey City, the whole front of that thing would be covered with some kind of graffiti art. And it makes a statement. I guess they sell clothing too, Obey clothing. I don't know anything about it. Interesting. Be the first to know. Join our newsletter. Well, I could never resist a newsletter. Boom, sign me up. My dear friend, it's time for one more blood pressure break. We're going to be back in a moment to talk about the virtual police force that has invaded the metaverse. We knew it was coming. We didn't know they'd be so cute. Back in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. I realize I need to adjust my camera here a little bit. I think we're just a little bit low. Interesting. I think that's better. Used to be able to see more. A little bit of tearing, which is not good, but we'll see what happens. I think it's tearing because my hands are too white and the camera can't handle it. So here we are back from break. Now, the reason we had some technical difficulties with Janna Marie and the Google Meet meeting was because her microphone was on, and because she was not speaking, the microphone is saying, uh-oh, I'm in a meeting, I'm in a Google Meet, I better turn up my ability to find someone to hear, so I can hear, so the other people can hear. So the microphone then goes crazy and becomes super sensitive and finds whatever voice it can find and amplifies it, even if it's across the room in a cubicle, and puts it on our air, which is why it sounded so distorted, because our noise filter then took that noisy noise from far away and distorted it, and it was a very bizarre experience. So if Janna Marie were using her voice, I think it all would have worked out great, because the noise filter would have been filtering her directly and getting rid of all that background noise that was actually then amplified and that we could hear because she was using sign language. So its technology is very interesting, very scary. You think you know it all until you got to go into a Google Meet meeting and it all falls apart. And I'm talking about me testing yesterday, not what happened today. Me trying to get this figured out yesterday afternoon was very interesting. Trying to figure out how to get it to cut and to fit so it looked right and fit okay, and it looked great. I'm very happy. So what else is going on in the news? Oh my, look, the metaverse. Something nobody asked for and nobody wants. There's a volunteer police department arresting people in VR. VR, metaverse, it's all the same thing. So these are not official people in the metaverse and VR. These are people, these are self-anointed people, self-appointed sheriffs. And they all look like anime characters. Early last year, Jira was at the spa, chilling in a communal bath and having a casual chat with friends, when the lowly police department burst into the building. He and his pals froze at the sight of the group, clad in uniforms and brandishing guns. The LPD had come to the spa to arrest a wanted criminal, and the person in charge wasn't going down without a fight. But before Jura had time to react, he was witnessing a hostage situation. The criminal grabbed an innocent bystander and started making demands to negotiate his escape. That sounds a lot like Grand Theft Auto. But it's not. Suddenly, shots rang out, and an LPD officer hit the ground. The police team called for backup, and shortly thereafter, the LPD SWAT team stormed the building. Eventually, the hostage was freed, and the criminal was taken to jail. Jura thought what happened was hilarious. After all, the whole thing was a role play, and the criminal was in on the game. The LPD is a fake law enforcement agency that prowls the various worlds of the VR chat platform, which is like the metaverse, which has an average of 20,000 concurrent users at any given time. I can pull out a bag of weed and make it look like it came out of someone's pocket. They always say it's not theirs. Now that's the lowly police department saying that. And there is no such thing as a lowly police department, only people who say they're from there. It was so theatrical, an entertaining piece for everyone, really. Then once the criminal had been put away and the role play had ended, the members took the time to speak to all witnesses. It impressed me a lot. And when I showed interest, they were more than happy to talk me through joining their police force. Funnily enough, I spent most of my day-to-day with these people now. Now, this is what's interesting. There are 20 people in this metaverse, and there are now 11,000 members of the LPD on their Discord server. The group, which gets its name from lowlies, the young-looking anime girl avatars that members use, is the most prominent police role-play group in VRChat. The tightly run community allows members to experience the fantasy version of police life and prides itself on being a source of chaotic good in the strange world of virtual reality. And it all began as a joke. Here's a image of the police force. We have 2-hour patrols where we break into squads, go out in the world of VR chat and interact with people and start role plays. There are dispatchers as well. They even use sound effects to make it sound like they're speaking to people through a radio. Okay, so maybe it's not terrible. Being a VR chat police officer comes with its shares of challenges. Members are aware that their form of role play, which frames spot checks and fakes drug busts as harmless fun, doesn't sit well with some members of the community. We get abused. One user said, especially when there's police violence going on in the US. We get a lot more people responding and saying curse words to us, like F the police. More pictures of the anime police force. I don't know if they can shoot you, though. That's what's interesting. One student who now oozes confidence because of working for LPD has even put the lowly police department on applications for university grants, citing the project management and leadership expertise he's gained as being on the force. And as odd as it seems, given where the skills came from, it's definitely improved things for me. So there you go. People want to be police officers. They want to go in there. They want to set up their own little kind of cult, get people to join. And what are you going to do when you have a metaverse, a VR chat world that's filled with police looking to falsely arrest people and no ordinary citizens whatsoever? Then what are you going to do? I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting to watch and see what happens. I love talking about folklore. And a Galacian gothic horror movie, The Open Body, is pounced on by Filmex. This is a very interesting story. A Barcelona-based mini studio, Filmex, has acquired the international rights to Spanish-Portuguese co-production of The Open Body, a horror story set in the early 20th century and plumbing Galacian folklore. The film marks the feature debut of Spanish director Ángeles Huerta. Uh-oh. Dora lost me for some reason. That's not good. I have no idea what happened. As far as I know, we're still okay. I don't think we've dropped anything. But Twitch is twitchy. And the Twitch app is twitchy too. Make sure you have the updated version. The Open Body is based on a story from the book written in 1991. And it tells the story of Miguel, a teacher whose logic and scientific methodology is called into question when he comes face to face with the beliefs and superstitions of a small village on the gloomy border between Galicia and Portugal. Well, it sounds very interesting. I can't wait to see it. Anything that has to do with folklore It's very interesting because folklore is how cultures set their myths and their belief system. Well, USC's back in the news in a really terrible way. And they're a very rich private school, the University of Southern California. And you wonder, how rich is too rich? And how much money is not enough money? And I guess they've answered that for us, is they want more money and they'll do whatever they can to get it. This is a continuation of their college admissions cheating scandal. USC emails reveal the ties between admissions, athletics, fundraising. Messages are released as college admissions cheating trial starts. At least $1 million if we get her in. A new match of emails filed in a Varsity Blues college administration's fraud trial revealed that the University of Southern California officials brazenly spoke of some family's wealth and their ability to donate while discussing applicants. Now, I understand that USC is a good school and people want to go there, and it has a good reputation. Now, what I don't understand are the parents who say, well, my kid has no talent, and my kid is dumb, so I'm going to have to pay $1 million to get him into a good school, him or her. And the parents are just as much as fault as USC. I mean, if someone says, I'll give you $1 million, just let my dummy in. You can see how a university would say, well, we do have tutoring, and we could put them on academic probation and maybe get another mill after the first semester when they fill out their courses. So I hope that everybody gets put in jail. But so far, it seems like only the parents are in trouble. The universities don't seem to be in any peril whatsoever, so far. And a dozen USC internal emails from 2013 to 2018 among top department athletic officials and fundraisers portray staffers at times fixated on prospects' bank accounts. A staffer added dollar signs in reference to a family in one email and noted in another that a family needed to pay up before further favors would be granted. Now, this is how a university works in many ways. You want your name on a building, you pay up. I know people who have money and who want their kids to teach at a university. I can tell you I have direct knowledge of this, and this person wanted his son on the faculty of the music department. And the music department said, we don't have room for him. We don't have a line. We don't have a slot. And the dad said, well, if I were to create a slot, how much would that cost me? The price was, I don't know, something like $1 million. And the father said, well, I'll donate $3 million to your department, but I want you to create a line on the teaching faculty for my son. And the department said, yes. And the university said, hell yes. And it was tacky and terrible, and nobody blinked an eye. And that son has been on the faculty for 30 years. And his health benefits, his salary is all paid for by his father, who is now dead. So that's a gift that keeps on giving. You want something at a university, all you have to do is get the money and give it to them. Because they need the cash flow, especially if they're a land-grant university. In the emails, athletic department administrators and staffers who raise money for USC speak openly about prime donor prospects and how to close deals. And this is true at any university. There are foundations at universities dedicated to bringing in money. And if you will donate more money, if we get your kid in, then great. He's in. She's in. The correspondence includes former athletic director Pat Hayden, former senior associate athletic director Donna Heinel, and USC fundraisers. Will be at least $1 million if we get her in. Ms. Reisman wrote in 2013 to Ms. Heinel regarding one applicant's family. The grandfather founded a beer company, Ms. Reisman noted, adding there like the Anheuser-Busch family. Money, 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 money. Mr. Varick was among 57 people charged in connection with the case, which was first unveiled in 2019. 50 have pleaded guilty, including 2 other USC coaches and a former athletic department director. Being flagged as a recruited athlete allows candidates to go through a separate admissions process, which all but guarantees an acceptance offer at some schools. Now, the universities have to be in on this. It's not just the people who work at the universities. The universities themselves know this is going on, but are they punished, or are only the people there punished? The lawyer said Ms. Reisman used a poor choice of words, but unequivocally denies that she ever solicited donations to USC for admissions. Ms. Reisman is now an associate athletic director at USC, while Mr. Wanzilak is a senior assistant athletic director. Both are in fundraising roles. And that is at a university. The University of Nebraska is a football school, and the football school runs the university. The football program brings in a lot of money, pays for a lot of ordinary scholarships. And if you want to be successful at the University of Nebraska, you have to support the football team. And if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. And you know that when you get there. There are faculty people who arrive and say, oh, how did I know? This was all about football and not about academics. Well, it's a football school, and you know that. And there are lots of football schools. And once the parents start paying, the school doesn't want them to stop. It's a money train. In a 2016 email to Ms. Heinel, Ms. Reisman complained that the family of an admitted student potentially was going to screw us on a gift. We shouldn't get the student a job until we get a gift first, she wrote, referring to a role the teen wanted with the football team. You've done enough to get her in. They need to pay up. The exhibits echo previous emails disclosed in 2019 that showed athletics, admissions, and fundraising officials at USC were weighing applicants' wealth in the admissions process. VIP students were described in a spreadsheet with references such as "father is a surgeon" and "given $2 million already." I find this funny. It's hard to even read it because I'm laughing and smiling as we go through this, because this is nothing new. This has been going on for years. You've heard of legacy admissions. The father, the mother go to the university, the big name university, and the kids get to go, and they're in because of their parents. And because their parents have been faithful donors to the university since their graduation. In one email from 2014 unveiled on Tuesday, Ms. Reisman reminded Mr. Hayden that he had been introduced to a wealthy father via the headmaster of an exclusive Los Angeles private school. And that message came from the headmaster saying, if the kid got in, the parent will support USC with $2 million. Now, this shows zero faith in the child. the trophy child who can't get into a university on its own. Mr. Hayden, Pat Hayden, had a great reputation. A former USC and NFL quarterback who served as USC's athletic director from 2010 to 2016 and stayed on in a fundraising role until 2017, told Ms. Reisman in connection with another student who had been admitted as a walk-on for USC's track and field program, "Are they really thinking of a gift? If they truly are, I can speak to the coach." It's a soap opera of all soap operas. Money speaks, dollars walk, crypto talks. Now imagine if they could do all this in crypto. Hey, here's a secret Bitcoin address. You send $1 million to this address. Nobody can track it. And we'll get your dummy kid into the university. You know that's happening already. Final rank. Back in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv, BOLES.TV. And we are live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And you can find our video on demand on Twitch, Boles TV, and also on YouTube, where it is closed captioned. You can go to Boles.live, or our username on YouTube is Boles Blues. And now we're finishing up the day with a wonderful, fabulous story about how to spot scammers. And this comes from the Social Security Administration, which I absolutely love, that the government is finally taking a forward step in protecting people. I'm going to put this in chat. I tried to read that yesterday, just in preparing for the show, and it kept saying the server is too busy, the server is too busy. I think a lot of people were reading this blog article, and it just came out yesterday. So there are common elements to many of these scams. Scammers often exploit fears, threatening you with arrest or legal action. Scammers also pose as Social Security or other government employees and claim there's a problem with your Social Security number or your benefits. They may even say your Social Security number is linked to a crime. Now that's terrifying. You get a phone call. Hey, this is the police department. Not the lowly police department, but the police department from the federal government, and it's all a lie. When you identify a potential scammer, which is the hard part, is knowing if they're scamming you or not, hang up right away, or if they message you, ignore it. Never give personal information, don't give money, and don't go to the store and buy a gift card and send it to them. Don't take a picture of the front and back of your credit card and send it to them. Report the scam immediately to our Office of the Inspector General. If you owe money to Social Security, we will mail you a letter with payment options and appeal rights. We only accept payments electronically through pay.gov, online bill pay, or physically by check or money order through our offices. We will never threaten you with arrest or legal action because you didn't agree to pay us money immediately. We will never promise a benefit increase in exchange for money. Now that's very clever. That's the other side of it. Well, I could really fix this for you if you gave me $1,000. You could use $1,000, right? We will never ask you to send us gift cards, prepaid debit cards, wire transfers, internet currency, cryptocurrency, or cash to the U.S. mail. Dora says, just today I got a text, supposedly from my bank, fraud department, and deleted it. Yes. I got something similar about that on a Google voice message, and it was on a different account of mine, so I didn't look at it right away. And about 2 hours later, I got an email from Google saying, hey, you have this terrible voicemail, and we've identified it as a terrible scam, and we've already removed it from your inbox. So if you were thinking of going there and looking at it, don't, because it's not there. I like that. Some people don't like, why is Google messing with my mail? I want Google to mess with my mail. There's something dangerous in there. Now, Dora, what did you ever find about your IRS check thing? Did you go to the bank? Did you get it checked? Was it real? Was it a fake? You never reported back. And maybe you don't want to. You don't have to. You can help your loved ones and people in your community in the Slam the Scam Day, which sounds new. You can educate your friends and family about government imposter scams. Let them know they do not have to be embarrassed to report if they shared personal financial information or if they suffered a financial loss. That's true. A lot of people fall for these scams and they're too embarrassed to talk about it. it's good to talk about it. The important thing is to report the scam right away. Share our Scam Alert fact sheet and fraud prevention and reporting webpage to educate people on how to protect themselves. Please help us spread the message to make sure no one else falls victim to those criminals. Together, we can slam the scam. On March 10, which I guess, is that today? Oh boy, today is Slam the Scam Day. Good, I like that. Let's see if there are comments. One comment from Dala is very efficient and beneficial. Okay, that's fair. So there's the Scam Alert page. Ooh, I like that. That's very helpful. And the fraud prevention and reporting webpage, you can go here to report the scammers directly. I like that a lot. Should make that an NFT and give it away for free. Now, can you imagine how great that would be? Hey, we're the Social Security government. Oh, Weirdor says, well, it was real. Did go to the bank, but the funny thing is that they couldn't tell it was real either, and they were looking at the same webpage. I checked that apparently was all wrong, since none of the signs they tell you to look for were not there. Wow, that's fascinating. So it was some kind of refund? Well, I'm so glad you got a little bit of extra money. That's fabulous. And I'm so happy that you didn't just go crazy and deposit it right away. You said, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right to me. Let me go find out. So you show it to your bank, and your bank didn't know, or the bank said, well, let's find out and just deposit and see what happens. Now imagine if the government made an NFT of this and gave it away for free. Hey, you can buy this with a crypto dollar for $1 and we'll donate it to needy people, or you can just have it for free. Put it in your NFT collection. People will look at it. They'll be interested in it. And I know if this were an NFT or free, if I had to pay gas, okay, I would take this and have this part of my collection. I want this Scam Alert to always be there with me. I like it very much. Now here's sort of an old story. It's a brand new story from yesterday, but this is an old issue that just it burns me from the inside. And I am being sort of silly, but not really. There is a very famous lawyer named David Boles, B-O-I-E-S. And then there is me. And there are lots of David Boleses, B-O-L-E-S, lots of us around. At least 10 that I'm actively aware of. One's a UK lawyer, one just died, he was a pharmacist in Colorado, there's a guy in Tennessee, we're everywhere. But verticals matter. And what do I mean by vertical? Vertical is a font term. Now, in some fonts, an I, letter I, looks almost the same as the letter L, side by side. So there are a lot of people who read articles about this very famous and well-to-do lawyer named David Boles, and their eyes are not very good, and they confuse the verticals, and they say David Boles, B-O-L-E-S, and then they hunt me down on Twitter and on Facebook and start yelling at me and accusing me of doing terrible things as a lawyer. And they find me, I think, because I'm probably the first Boles, David Boles, that comes up in a Google search, because I've been around a long time. And so I very calmly said, I think you mean David Boles, not David Boles. He's a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer. And I don't get mad at them, because I know that they're being passionate and they're trying to make a point, but they're making it to the wrong person. Dora says, at first, that's what they said, but I insisted they check. Ooh, that's so good for you. The other teller, though, signed up to Social Security office and looked up the check number, and that's how they confirmed it was real. I cannot believe it. What a fabulous story. I love it. And I'm so glad that you persisted. If you had listened to the first person, okay, he tore it up, throw it away. You lose all that money. And that was a nice piece of money. Buy an NFT with that. Well, good for you. I'm glad you got the money. So it was some kind of refund, I guess, from 2019. That is really very interesting. And all your friends thought it was fake too. Amazing. But I'm glad it worked out. And I'm glad there's someone there. You forced them to do their job, looked it up, which they can do to see if it's a real thing or not, because people need to know. Oh, I'm so glad. So speaking of David Boys and David Boles and the confusion is real because people don't read well. However, when you have a news organization like FXB TV, Fox TV, printing an article like this, according to our lawyer, the Prince Andrew and Virginia Giuffre lawsuit has been settled. Giuffre's lawyer, David Boles, said the payment was received. The settlement we announced last month has been completed. We are obviously very pleased with the outcome. Now, come on now. Now, that's not paying attention. That's not David Boys. That is my name and the name that I share with several other people. Why are you dragging us into this article from Fox News? Now, people reading it and they can't see, and an I looks like an L, okay. But if you're a news organization, you have to have fact checkers. You have to have someone reading your work. You have to have someone identifying what's going on. And this is just the mistake. And I'm sure that David Boys, the real guy, is not happy seeing that the David Boles name is there instead of his name, because he worked very hard and he's a very successful lawyer and does a lot of good things and represents some bad people. Some people think that that's the job of a lawyer. You just represent everybody. So verticals matter, but I guess you could say editorial control matters more, because you wouldn't have a mistake like this, which is just 100% something ugly. Dora says the branch manager first said, deposit it. And if it's a fraud, we'll vouch for you. But I didn't like that. I agree with you, unless you get that in writing. I agree. But I still don't understand how the Social Security office can have that tutorial and it's wrong. Unless the tutorial refers to a New York State refund check. Very interesting. I don't know what happened. It's very, very interesting, but I'm so glad you were suspicious and you checked it out. Because if you had just deposited it on your own, unwittingly, and it turned out to be a fake check, they would say you're in some kind of scam, or they'd charge you a whole bunch of fees. So I'm so glad that somebody at the bank did the right thing, didn't even do you a favor, but they did the right thing. They did their job. They checked in the check record. Now we end the day with some beauty. Lincoln Center in New York, according to The Gothamist, which is a wonderful magazine that deals with New York City, unveils the overhauled David Geffen Hall as a community-oriented cultural center, which I find absolutely amazing. It's been redesigned. So Lincoln Center has always sort of had elite appeal. It's the home to many performing arts places and centers. But the regular people, the ordinary people of New York City, were often left out. They have a beautiful plaza and fountain that people can go and play in. But getting inside, you have to pay. Well, maybe not. This is what it looks like now. A rendering of film viewings at Geffen Hall. Okay, so you can go there, see a beautiful film at Lincoln Center. This is what the Welcome Center might look like. These are rendered drawings. These are not actual how it's going to look, but this is how they hope it will look. This is very lovely. They have a very, very small theater at Lincoln Center for watching movies. Very tiny. Concessions, very tiny. But it's Lincoln Center, so it's nice. A rendering of the lobby. Very kind of futuristic. Do we like the carpet? I don't know. Looks a little matrixy to me. A rendering of the sidewalk studio. Very nice. Inside becomes outside. That's the new thing. Bring the outside in. Rendering of the new ground promenade, which is inside and outside. Very nice. Rendering of the ground promenade with retractable curtains down. Okay, so that's sunshine is coming in. Now we don't want the sunshine. A rendering of the east elevation. Very beautiful. Well, that's a lovely show today. We talked a lot about safety and crypto and centralized financing and decentralized financing and IRS fake checks and Social Security scams. And we talked to the beautiful Janna Marie about a new coconut body oil from Trader Joe's. We covered the whole world in 1 hour. Maybe 2. If you would like to ask me a question or a comment, you can email me, david@boles.tv. If you'd like to send Janna Marie a message, you can find her at janna@boles.tv. Tomorrow at 10:15, Janna Marie will be here. I think the reason my check was held up was that my accountant passed away. Oh, that's interesting. That's something you wouldn't know or couldn't predict until somebody came in and fixed it for you. And Janna Marie will be here tomorrow at 10:15 with a special American Sign Language tutorial. And on Saturday and Sunday, she's here at 11 a.m. with a very own show for 1 hour, talking about fun things, fun facts, disability, American Sign Language. Ask her questions, and she will have a wonderful time interacting with you. You can reach me on Facebook at Boles, B-O-L-E-S. On Instagram, Boles Books. On TikTok, we're Boles TV. YouTube, Boles Blues. And here's our Discord server if you're interested in joining us there for deeper conversation. And on Twitter, we are David Boles. You can now super follow us on Twitter if you want insider information and be a part of the show in a very unique and interesting way. So until tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, I will see you. I wish you a good day, a good evening, a wonderful nap, and may you be refreshed and filled with joy and the spirit of belonging in your soul. I'll see you tomorrow.